staying with us. Let's continue. A court in Homa Bay barred the government from hiring civil servants as supervisors and enumerators in the forthcoming census. Meanwhile, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics held a consultative forum with a special task force which had been set up by the government to look into the interests of intersex persons. The Kenyan authorities will include an intersex category along with male and female in the section of gender in this year's census.
This will be the first time in this republic and also in the world where a nation is going to the census having organized itself, incorporated in the enumeration tools, and trained its enumerators to count intersex persons. This will be done under the leadership of the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics.
For us, it's for intersex people, and why I feel that there is a need. You get why I feel there is a need for us to be counted in this census is one, that we must at all costs try to stop infanticide. Nobody has the right to kill a child just because they have gone in between their legs and realized it's not the expectation. So infanticide must be stopped, and it can only be stopped if we as a country address and say that it is okay, it is normal to have an intersex child. The other thing is education. I think I have fought for my space in education. Even when I'm sent out of an exam room, I still go back because I understand the importance of education. Not all intersex persons are like me. In fact, if you have 100 children, you realize 20, and you see 20 of them don't go to school and come to the factor or try to source out the factor and realize that it's because they are intersex, then you realize there's something wrong.
One of the new things that we have in the census is the fact that now finally we'll be able to identify how many, we'll be able to collect the numbers of the population that are intersex, and based on the analysis that will be carried out, we'll be able to have the other characteristics, their education levels, their labor force, where do they work, where do they live, issues of disability, we'll be able to know, and all the other indicators, at least now we can be able to map them by the sex, male, female, and intersex.
Now, to tell us about the state of preparedness for the census is our reporter Shadrach Miti, joining us from our city centre studios. Shadrach Miti, good afternoon to you. Now, we've seen a couple of issues arise in the run-up to the census, which is set to be held at the end of this month. And number one, we've seen the intersex issue. We've also seen a couple of petitioners heading to the court to challenge the criteria and occupation status of some of the people who were picked in terms of this particular census. Just bring us up to speed with the various developments that have happened.
Well, Jesse, it would be proper to start by saying that at least the first hurdle that revolved around the issue of a transgender or intersex people, at least that one you can say so far has been now dealt with, because this morning there was that consultative forum meeting where various players under the stewardship of the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics met, and it was officially declared that the intersex persons will be included in the enumeration of people that is set to kickstart in the next 5 days. And so for the first time we shall be witnessing in the counting of population of people in Kenya where under the category of gender, we shall have the male and female, then the third category, that's the intersex. And so that one is settled. But now we seem to be having a bigger problem which has not been dealt with. And if it has been dealt, then we have not been really informed fully. Because last week, there was that decision by Homa Bay Court that directed that all government officers that have been hired by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics to be either enumerators or other people working within any given shrunk all through the exercise should be dropped, because in the thinking of the court, it was so wrong for the government to appear to be paying 2 salaries to its own employees. And so that directive was, that order was directed to the Homa Bay County Commissioner, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, and the Attorney General. And so we know by Friday last week, there was that crisis meeting that was organized by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics with a view to trying to wrap their mind around the issue so that they can even know how to approach it. Because by last Friday, it was not so clear whether that directive by the court was limited to Homa Bay County alone or the area within which people had moved to court to contest the entire process, or it would apply across the entire country. And so far, we can say there has not been that clear communication from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics on how they're going to approach the issue. But we know insofar as the court ruling is concerned, there still remains a huge problem that now the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics has to deal with ahead of the exercise that is set to start in the next 5 days. And remember, Jesse, we know that although this exercise is set to begin on 24th of August, which is largely referred to as the night of reference. We ahead of that, that's between 22nd and 23rd, there shall be what we call the pre-listing. This is an exercise that will see the enumerators under their leaders alongside the village elders and chiefs from given areas will be walking around just to ensure that they are having a clear view of the areas they'll be focusing on, so that when it comes to the night of 24th, which the exercise is set to begin between 6 p.m. on the night of 24th and until 10. And after that, the exercise will close to resume the following day. And so we're expecting that from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics that on that night, they will be capturing so many people as they can, so that now they can spread the remaining exercise along the remaining 7 days, even as the exercise is supposed to end is expected to end on 31st of August. But within that time, it is expected that the nearly 160,000 enumerators that have been hired by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics will have done enough to capture so many people as it is required. Jesse.
Well, many thanks, Shadrach Miti, just giving us an update on the developments that have happened in terms of the oncoming census that is expected to kickstart right there in around 5 days or so. Keen to note President Kenyatta, while launching the 2019 population census, said this would improve planning and the decision making based on the evidence that